Good morning, friends. Welcome to Morning Motivation with Dr. K, where my number one goal is to give you a positive perspective. So something that I was thinking about this morning, I stayed up way too late last night, binge watching TV, and I was really tired this morning, and when my alarm went off, I was like, oh, I don't want to get up. I don't want to do all the things. Good morning, Darren. And so something that all of a sudden hit me that I remembered was everything is a choice. And I was like, I don't have to get out of bed. Granted, there'd be consequences. Good morning, Jamie. I don't have to do anything. Everything's a choice. And as much as that kind of sounds like, forget you, world, it's more like it's meant to give you freedom. So when was the last time that you felt overwhelmed but realized, hey, I chose all this stuff? You don't have to do anything. You don't. There is no requirements. I know, Darren. Hey, Jamie. Hey, Rob. It's kind of liberating when you feel kind of bogged down. I literally just got a text message from my car. It says change your oil soon. That's so weird. Anyway. But when was the last time you felt overwhelmed but stopped and reminded yourself, hey, wait, I chose all this. I'm overwhelmed with my kids. Hey, wait, I've always wanted to have kids. That was always the goal. I'm overwhelmed because the kids have so much schoolwork. Hey, wait, I don't have to do that. I'm overwhelmed because if I don't do the schoolwork, their teachers will be upset with me. Hey, wait, I don't have to care. Seriously, I know. Yes, automation too. But honestly, guys, I was just thinking about, I have to do this, I have to do this. And then I was like, wait, I signed up for all this. I chose all this. And if I didn't, I don't have to do it. I know we talked last week about time not being your master. So sometimes I'm sitting in my car at 7:30 journaling and being like, oh my gosh, 8 o'clock is almost here. I have to see patients, blah, blah, blah. And I stress myself out. Well, the truth is I don't have to do anything. I don't have to be anywhere at any time. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to be on time. I don't have to show up in any certain way. I can do whatever I want. And when you change things from things that you have to do to things that you choose to do, it feels very, very different. I told people a year ago when I moved from El Reno to Yukon for my practice as a family practice doctor, that the hardest part was that it wasn't my idea. The hardest part was that I didn't choose that. I wanted to stay in El Reno, and I didn't have that choice at the end of the day to keep my current practice in its current location. And so when it's not our idea, it feels a lot stickier. It feels harder, right? Hey, Terry. Hey, Phil. So I would encourage you guys that if you are feeling like you're trudging through some heavy mud, last night I was watching 90 Day Fiancé because I'm on a complete binge right now. And if anybody has watched it, there's this man on there that literally doesn't have a neck. His name's Ed. And he is in the Philippines to try to impress his girlfriend's dad. And he's in a pig pen, and he puts these bags over his feet, and he's just slipping around and falling. And the more he tries, the more his feet get covered in mud and the worse it gets. And so I feel like that's a good metaphor for life, is that when we feel like we have to do something, when we feel like, oh my goodness, I have all these things that I have to do today. I have to go to work. I have to take care of this thing with my car. I have to do this for my kids. I have to get the groceries. You're like, oh my goodness. And you are just slipping around in the mud of a pig pen, and it just gets worse and worse. And the next thing you know, you're sitting there right with the pigs, right? But guess what? It's all optional. It's all optional. You don't even have to get out of bed in the morning. If you have kids, guess what? You don't even have to take care of them. Will there be consequences? Sure. But you choose to. Most of us that have children have chosen to have children, right? Most of us that have a job have chosen to have a job. And we've actually chosen the one that we actually have. It wasn't chosen for us, for most of us, right? Good morning, Danny. Good morning, Rory. Good morning, Terry. So I would just encourage you guys, next time you guys feel so overwhelmed by all of the things on your schedule, on your to-do list, First, check in with yourself and ask yourself, do you want to do those things? Do you choose to do those things? Do those things make you feel good? Do they make you happy? And if the answer is no, guess what? You don't have to do them. Take them off your to-do list. You don't have to do anything for anyone, ever. Check in with yourself. So, hey Cassidy. So I'm just encouraging you guys. There is nothing on this planet that you have to do. Are there consequences when you don't do things? Sure. But I want to encourage you guys that the life that you have currently, at some point, you were doing that on purpose. At some point, you chose those things on purpose. So while they might be overwhelming right now, I want to try to remind you guys that overwhelm doesn't last forever. And if you can remind yourselves those exact things that create the tension and create the stress in your life, that of all the things you could have done with your life, you picked that. So if you don't want that, choose again. But if it is what you want, instead of being stressed out about it, choose it again today. Instead of letting it choose you, instead of letting it tell you what to do, when you have to do it, how you have to do it, nope. You choose that thing, and you decide how you're going to show up and when you're going to show up, and you be true to yourself. Be true to what you want. Be true to what makes you happy, because in the end, if you are happy and if you are fulfilled, everybody else wins. Everybody else benefits. If you show up in this world the way you want to, everybody wins. How cool is that? So it was just very liberating to me this morning when I was like, oh, I'm tired. I have to get up. I have to do these things. It was like, no, girl. You chose these things. You get to do these things. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. But the truth is you do want to. And the truth is you picked this stuff very intentionally. You chose your house. You chose your car. You chose your clothing. You chose what state you wanted to live in. Of all the places in the world you could have lived, you purposefully picked Oklahoma. You chose what company you were going to work for. You even choose your patients. You choose everything. So show up and realize you picked this. You did this on purpose. It's a blessing. You got all this stuff that you wanted. Love it. And if you don't, pick again. Because you get to. You might not get to pick your kids again. Maybe don't do that. But you get to choose how you show up. And you get to choose, like, if you're like, oh, they're going to be so mad at me, blah, blah. You get to choose if you care. You get to choose whether or not you care about their opinion. The other day I was stressed out because I was like, oh my gosh, the kids' teachers are going to be so upset with me because I missed this in this meeting. I get to choose whether or not I care about their opinion about that. Am I doing my best? Yes, I'm doing my best. I really am. This is my best. So maybe they don't know that. Maybe it's not their responsibility to know that, but it's my responsibility to decide who I'm going to let affect me. It's my responsibility to decide whether or not your opinion matters to me. It's my responsibility to decide what I want to do with my day, right? Good morning, Alfred. So I just want to encourage you guys, if you're feeling overwhelmed, just try to remember that you picked all of this stuff. And if there's some things happening in your life that happened to you and you didn't choose and you don't like it, it's beautiful because you get to get rid of it. We have so much power, you guys. Take back your power. You get to pick. Hi, Stephanie. So I find a lot of freedom in that, and I started journaling on that and the freedom that I do have and the things that I can choose, and letting go of anything that doesn't serve me or my family, and letting go of opinions that don't serve me or my family, and just letting myself realize I have the freedom and the ability to choose my day, to choose how I spend my time, to choose how I show up. And then it didn't feel so sticky. It didn't feel so much like sliding around in the mud, like everything was chosen for me, like I was a slave to my day. I'm not a slave to anything. And if I am, it's because I need to wake up and start choosing for myself and stop letting other people choose for me. So if you are a slave to your day and your life, wake up. Because if you're not picking those things on purpose, you're not serving anybody. If you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not living the life you want to live, nobody wins. So choose yourself, choose wisely, and guess what? It's never too late to choose again, no matter. It is never too late to choose again. How cool is that? All right, friends, I have some patients to see because I want to see them. I hope everybody has an intentional day where you realize that you have the power to make your life be anything you want it to be. So if you don't like your life today, change it. Stop waiting. No one's going to change it for you. You might get laid off or something like that. Yeah, that gets chosen for you. But in general, you get to pick how you spend your day, how you spend your time. So choose things that you want to do. Okay? Thanks, Darren, you too. I hope everybody has a fabulous day, and I look forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow or tonight if I do Happy Hour Piano Bar. I love you guys to the moon. Bye.